his potential was that of Luke Skywalker, and his future looked like it was going to be just as big as Anakin Skywalker's future. So imagine my surprise when Anakin Solo was killed off in Star by Star in the Yuuzhan Vong War book. I was surprised that they killed him off. And at the time, he had virtually everything going for him. Let's see, he had a huge future ahead of him. He had great potential. He had pretty much greatness literally coming to him. And he had a love interest, Talia Vela. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that wrong. And he gets killed off, sacrificing his life to save everyone. And that shocked me of how that happened. Like, he sacrifices his life to save the others. Jason Solo took over the mission and he got captured. Well, everyone presumed he was dead. But I was generally surprised when Anakin Solo was killed off. And he's the third kid of Han and Leia. Also, their second kid, since Jaina and Jason were twins. So I was surprised when they killed him off in the story. Like, I didn't expect that to happen. And it served as a catalyst for various events to happen, like Jason Solo's fall to the Sith, Talia going into a depression since at the time they were in a relationship. Along with that, it also showed Jaina having dark thoughts in her mind and was slowly going to the Sith, but didn't. And Talia would later join the Sith during the Second Galactic Civil War, and then but later would get redeemed by Ben Skywalker. It was a surprising moment for me in Star Wars. Like, they always surprised me enough when they killed off Chewbacca, though I did like the way he was killed off. It took a moon to kill Chewbacca off, but I'll get to him when I get to him. But Anakin Solo had a huge potential, had a huge future ahead of him. Like, everyone said, oh, he's going to be the next great Luke Skywalker, the Anakin Skywalker that could have been, had he not fallen to the Sith. And also, when you're given the name Anakin, I kind of figured, okay, there's two things you see here. You either see him being just as big as Anakin, or you see him as Anakin that could have been. And especially he was given that name, he had a huge fear, which I thought was interesting. He had a huge fear that he would end up like Anakin Skywalker, since his name was Anakin, and he feared that would be his future as a Sith. And kind of ironic that his brother would become a Sith and not him. And so, Darth Canderous. So, it was surprising that they killed him off at this point. And I kept thinking, like, when Anakin Solo was dead, I was imagining Jaina grabbing Anakin Solo's lightsaber from Kashyyyk, where they left his lightsaber at, and he would battle, and she would battle with his lightsaber against Jason. That would have been an emotional battle. That would have added more emotion to it, since not only are they forced to kill her brother, she also is using Anakin Solo helping her in this fight to the death. And I really thought that should have added more weight, more depth to the battle. Like, it would have been all three of the Solo family children going at it, 2-on-1 pretty much. But, and especially how Talia became the Sith apprentice to Darth Canderous. She was offered this ability to travel back in time to relive memories of her and Anakin Solo together, friendship and love afterwards. And it was very heartbreaking, to be honest. It was very tragic how this girl is desperate to try and see him again, and she can't. And now she's pretty much become addicted to this force power that's pretty much being treated like a drug. Was being pretty much treated like a drug to her, and I generally thought that was very tragic that she ended up like this. But Anakin Solo's death was virtually a catalyst for people falling to the Sith, becoming Sith, people going through some dark emotions, and it just being all the more tragic of how his death, and Jason later resented his brother after his death when he was Darth Canderous. I don't know what happened, but he named a ship after him. He named an Imperial Star Destroyer after him. And I thought that was okay. That's both awesome yet very, very sad that that's his legacy. That's pretty much his legacy. An Imperial ship named after a Sith Lord. So I just thought that it was just all the more tragic when he was killed off. And I was surprised of how things went. But there are people who make fan fictions about what would have happened had he lived after that disastrous mission. I can't pronounce the planet's name, so I know what the planet was, but it was a mission to stop these creations. But like a Destiny Alter tells the story of what would have happened had Anakin Solo lived, and you should totally check it out. It's actually a good fan fiction. And there's what would happen afterwards, like would Darth Vader still rise? No one knows. Like, it's just interesting. Well, everyone, this was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate, and stay tuned for more.